Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Newshour, India's voice to the world. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh, coming up in the next hour. Prime Minister Narendra Modi holds talks with President of Seychelles, Patrick Hermani in New Delhi, announces joint vision for sustainability, economic growth and security. Prime Minister Modi continues engagement with students on Pariksha Pe Charcha, encourages students to look beyond exams, focus on life skills and self-growth. Defence ministers of India and Greece reinforce strategic partnership by strengthening defence industrial cooperation, also exchange bilateral military cooperation plan. Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi says Japan open to dialogue with China, pledges to bolster country's defences. And a big story. Prime Minister Narendra Modi held talks in New Delhi with President of Seychelles, Dr. Patrick Hermani, who is on state visit to India from 5th to 10th February. His visit coincides with the 50th anniversary of diplomatic ties between the two nations. Our next report has all the details.
President Hermani arrived in India on February 5th for a 6-day tour, his first since assuming office in October last year. On Monday, he held delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Hyderabad House, addressing bilateral, regional and international issues, followed by a scheduled meeting with President Draupadi Murmu at Rashtrapati Bhavan. Earlier, he paid tributes at Rajghat to honour Mahatma Gandhi.
भारत और सेशेल्स की साझेदारी एक नए चरण में प्रवेश कर रही है। सभी क्षेत्रों में आगे बढ़ने के लिए आज हम इंडिया सेशेल्स जॉइंट विजन जारी करने जा रहे हैं। ये विजन आने वाले वर्षों में हमारे सहयोग का रोडमैप बनेगा। आज हम $175 मिलियन के स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक पैकेज की घोषणा करने जा रहे हैं। यह पैकेज सोशल हाउसिंग, ई मोबिलिटी, वोकेशनल ट्रेनिंग, स्वास्थ्य, रक्षा और मैरीटाइम सिक्योरिटी जैसे क्षेत्रों में ठोस परियोजनाओं को सपोर्ट देगा।
Cooperation in the maritime and scientific domain was reinforced through the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding on technical cooperation in ocean observation, ocean services, capacity building, data sharing, and marine scientific research. This instrument reflects our shared interests in advancing marine science, strengthening technical and analytical capabilities, and support evidence-based ocean governance in the Indian Ocean. We also exchange perspectives on regional and global issues of mutual interest, including developments in the Indian Ocean region and India's growing role in multilateral forums such as the G20 and BRICS.
India-Seychelles relations emphasize maritime security, defense cooperation, development partnerships, trade, health, tourism, and climate resilience. The $175 million package announced today will be utilized in public housing, urban mobility, infrastructure, and skills development, alongside a joint vision for blue economy and security. This visit highlights Seychelles' key role in maritime neighbor in India's Vision Mahasagar for regional security and growth, with a focus on global South priorities. Bureau Report, DD India.
And Prime Minister Modi and Seychelles President Patrick Hermani unveiled a joint vision for sustainable growth, maritime security and people-centric development in the Indian Ocean region. India announced a $175 million special economic package for Seychelles, marking a new phase in bilateral ties.
India and Seychelles adopted a joint vision for sustainability, economic growth, and security through the enhanced linkages, reaffirming their commitment to deepen cooperation across development, maritime security, climate action, digital transformation, and people-to-people ties.
India-Seychelles joint vision for sustainability, economic growth, and security through enhanced linkages, outlining future axes for cooperation between the two countries. The document has detailed sections on political exchanges, development cooperation, trade and economic cooperation, digital and financial exchanges, cooperation in the fields of energy, health, defense and maritime security, capacity building and training, people-to-people linkages, and also cooperation in various regional and multilateral fora that both countries are members of.
In development partnership, PM Modi announced a special economic package of $175 million for Seychelles, comprising $125 million in a rupee-denominated line of credit and $50 million in grant assistance. The package will support Seychelles' developmental needs in public housing, mobility, infrastructure, capacity building, and maritime security. Maritime security and defense cooperation featured prominently in the discussions. Prime Minister Modi said Seychelles is an important maritime partner in India's Mahasagar vision. He reiterated India's continued support for strengthening Seychelles' maritime security capabilities. Both leaders expressed confidence that the joint vision will elevate the India-Seychelles partnership and deliver tangible benefits to the people of both countries. Both leaders agreed to step up bilateral cooperation in the field of hydrography to support Seychelles' efforts in accelerating its blue economic growth. In this regard, Seychelles will establish a Seychelles Hydrographic Unit with Indian assistance. President Patrick Armini stressed the need for Indian companies and businesses to see Seychelles as a major investment hub. He highlighted trade and business opportunities in affordable housing, digital technology and AI, financial services, the blue economy, tourism and fisheries. India agreed to provide technical assistance for power grid management and to support the implementation of multi-hazard early warning systems in Seychelles. Seychelles also agreed to join the Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure. Bureau Report, DD India.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has spoken with his Mauritian counterpart, Dr. Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam. Taking to social media platform X, Prime Minister says, and I quote, "Happy to receive phone call from my friend, Prime Minister Dr. Naveen Chandra Ramgoolam. We reviewed progress in wide-ranging cooperation between India and Mauritius since our memorable meeting in Varanasi last year, reaffirmed our commitment to further strengthen special, historic and people-centric ties that unite our two nations. India and Mauritius will continue to work together to achieve shared objectives of peace, stability in the Indian Ocean region. I look forward to welcoming him to India for the AI Impact Summit next week." Japan's new Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi has secured a historic mandate after her party's landslide victory in a snap election, becoming the country's first woman leader. Takaichi said the result reflects public demand for urgent reforms, including stronger defense and economic revival, while signaling openness to dialogue with China. Her tough stance on security and Taiwan has already drawn sharp warnings from Beijing. Our next report has more.
After a landslide victory in a historic election, Japanese Premier Sanae Takaichi said on Monday that the public saw an urgent need for major reform, pledging to boost the country's defenses in order to protect its territory. Sunday's snap vote saw Takaichi's Liberal Democratic Party win a two-thirds majority in the lower house for the first time in its history, capitalizing on her strong popularity since taking office in October. The outcome allows Japan's first woman prime minister to stamp her mark on the country of 123 million people over the next 4 years, having pledged to boost the economy and get tough on immigration.
Strengthening and enriching the Japanese archipelago marks the beginning of a very heavy responsibility. I feel a renewed sense of resolve.
Takaichi also said she is open to dialogue with China after sparking a row with Beijing in November with comments about Taiwan. She also said that Japan would protect its territory, territorial waters and airspace, pledging to bolster the country's defenses.
As a nation, we remain open to various forms of dialogue with China. Communication is already taking place at multiple levels, and we will continue these exchanges going forward. However, from the perspective of our national interest, we will respond calmly and appropriately.
Beijing urged Japan to retract Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi's comments on Taiwan and warned of consequences for any rash actions. China and Japan have been locked in a spat over comments by Takaichi in November that Tokyo could intervene militarily in any attack on self-ruled Taiwan.
We once again urge the Japanese side to retract the erroneous remarks made by Takaichi regarding Taiwan and demonstrate basic sincerity in safeguarding the political foundation of China-Japan relations through concrete actions.
Ties with Washington, meanwhile, are expected to remain firm. Takaichi supports higher defense spending and tighter alignment with the United States and regional partners. On the economic front, Takaichi has pledged tax cuts, aggressive fiscal stimulus, and promised continued easy monetary policy. But despite breaking the highest political glass ceiling, Takaichi has avoided framing her leadership around gender. She has appointed only a small number of women to her cabinet. Tokyo stocks surged after the election, with the Nikkei hitting record highs as investors welcomed political stability and the prospect of increased government spending. The yen strengthened as well, easing fears of immediate fiscal instability. Bureau Report, DD India.
Still to come on DD India Newshour. EU condemns Israel's West Bank control measures. And campaigning for election enters its final day in Bangladesh.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the Economic Brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Japan has restarted the world's biggest nuclear power plant, the Kashiwazaki Kariwa facility, signaling a major shift back to atomic energy. The facility had been offline since Japan shut down nuclear power following the 2011 Fukushima disaster triggered by a massive earthquake and tsunami. Japan is now turning back to nuclear energy to cut its reliance on fossil fuels, meet rising electricity demand and achieve carbon neutrality by 2050. According to Tokyo Electric Power Company officials, the reactor is safe to operate and commercial operations could begin after further inspections in March. However, public opinion remains divided, with many residents raising concerns about safety risks and evacuation plans. The European Union has condemned new Israeli measures to tighten control of West Bank and pave the way for more settlements in the occupied Palestinian territory. Speaking in Brussels, EU spokesperson said this move is another step in the wrong direction.
The European Union condemns recent decisions by Israel's Security Cabinet to expand Israeli control in the West Bank. This move is another step in the wrong direction, while the whole international community is making an effort to implement phase 2 of the comprehensive plan for Gaza.
Led by Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul, Thailand's ruling Bumjatai party won more seats in the snap elections. With coalition talks now expected, Anutin is set to become the country's first Prime Minister voted back in office in 20 years.
After less than 100 days in office, Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul announced elections seeking to ride a wave of nationalism generated by Thailand's conflict with Cambodia, which reignited in December. His party, Bumjai Thai, has secured a stronger than expected victory in the polls and will soon begin coalition talks to form a government. Anutin has vowed to build a wall along Thailand's border with Cambodia and strengthen the military.
Our hard work and our determination that we have all been working for our beloved country, despite having not long period of time in our administration, but all the problems that would put Thailand into risk, we have had the right people to tackle all those problems, and we think Thailand is now in a steady state.
The left-leaning People's Party, which led most opinion polls in the run-up to the vote, trailed. Apart from the conflict with Cambodia, the economy remained the main poll issue for voters.
Urgent problems that I would like the new government and Prime Minister to fix include the border dispute between Thailand and Cambodia, because it shouldn't be prolonged any further, and also problems concerning crops and produce.
Well, urgent problems that the new government needs to fix, actually I would prefer them to focus on the economy first, because right now it's their crucial time to gain confidence from the public and prove how well they could manage the country's economy.
Anutin earlier indicated that if re-elected, the government would proceed with the second phase of a subsidy scheme to cut living costs. The Thai economy has been struggling due to US tariffs and rising household debt. Voters also backed a proposal to change the constitution, when nearly two-thirds in favor of replacing a charter adopted after a 2014 military coup that critics say gave too much power to an undemocratic Senate. Bureau Report, DD India.
In Bangladesh, as campaigning for the 13th Jatiya Sangsad election and referendum enters its final day, Dhaka witnessed large rallies by senior political leaders, adding to the congestion and heightening political tensions across the capital. Top leaders, including BNP chairperson Tariq Rahman, Jamaat-e-Islami Amir Shafiqur Rahman and NCP convener Nahid Islam, addressed multiple rallies and processions, drawing thousands of supporters. In other news, Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with students in the second episode of popular interactive program Pariksha Pe Charcha 2026. During his interaction, Prime Minister addressed a number of issues, including stress and anxiety during exams for youngsters. Prime Minister also inspired students to look beyond exams, focus on life skills, sports, creativity and self-growth. This year, the interactive session were held with exam warriors in Devamogra, Coimbatore, Raipur, Guwahati and at 7 Lok Kalyan Marg in Delhi. Here's more.
It's a unique interaction of Prime Minister Narendra Modi with the warriors of the 10th and 12th standard, getting ready for their secondary and higher secondary school board examinations later this month. Year 2026 marks the 9th edition of popular interactive session Pariksha Pe Charcha, an interactive session during which PM Modi discussed various aspects of their examinations and preparations with students, parents and teachers. The program aims to discuss exam stress and celebrate examinations as a festival and an integral part of life. Responding to a student's question on how he handled stress during critical national moments such as the aftermath of the Pahalgam attack and Operation Sindoor, PM remarked that students often feel exam stress but later realize it was temporary once the exam is over. He emphasized that the best way to overcome exam tension is to develop the habit of solving papers and writing regularly rather than only reading. He added that consistent practice prevents stress.
आप पुरानी परीक्षा के दिनों को याद कीजिए। अगर पुरानी परीक्षाओं को याद करेंगे तो आपको लगेगा हाँ यार जब गया तब तो टेंशन था, लेकिन जब करके आ गया तो कुछ नहीं था। ऐसा होता है कि नहीं?
होता है।
परीक्षा के लिए सबसे अच्छी चीज होती है कि आप पेपर सॉल्व करने की आदत डालें, लिखने की। ज्यादातर लोग क्या करते हैं, पढ़ते हैं। यस, अगर खुद इस प्रकार से आप प्रैक्टिस करते रहते हैं तो मुझे पक्का विश्वास है कि आपको कभी भी तनाव नहीं आएगा।
Addressing a student aspiring to balance sports and studies, Prime Minister remarked that education is essential not only for personal life but also for social life, and it must never be underestimated. He cautioned against the mistake of believing that excellence in sports alone eliminates the need for studies, while also clarifying that education alone is not everything. PM Modi encouraged students to begin their entrepreneurial journey with small startups, saying big ideas often grow from modest beginnings. He advised students to reach out to industry professionals to understand how real-world systems function and to gain practical exposure beyond textbooks. Prime Minister also stressed upon the importance of civic responsibility, urging students to follow basic rules such as not littering, not spitting on roads, obeying traffic signals, and avoiding food wastage. He said that disciplined daily behavior plays a crucial role in nation building. Highlighting initiatives like Vocal for Local, Prime Minister said choosing Indian-made products strengthens the domestic economy. He also referred to the Wed in India campaign, encouraging couples to celebrate weddings within the country rather than abroad. PM noted that every small step taken by citizens themselves contributes to achieving the goal of Viksit Bharat by 2047. PM underlined that discipline and motivation are both essential. He said that without discipline, inspiration alone is ineffective. The Prime Minister added that discipline gives direction while motivation strengthens the journey. Prime Minister said that there is no need to fear technology, and instead students should ensure that they use technology wisely rather than becoming dependent on it. He described technology as a powerful teacher and encouraged students to embrace it with awareness and responsibility, using it as a tool for learning, innovation and growth. Prime Minister Narendra Modi advised students to travel not merely as tourists but as learners, encouraging them to explore new places with curiosity and a desire to understand their culture, history and a way of life. He said a good student develops a strong grip over subjects, keeps trying and engages in healthy competition. Responding to a question on leadership, the Prime Minister said future leaders must be able to communicate ideas clearly and effectively. Responding to a student's question on the role of teachers in his life, PM remarked that they play a very important role. He recalled how his teacher encouraged him daily to visit the library, read the editorial line in the Times of India, write it down and discuss it the next day, which instilled discipline and curiosity. PM asked students to never settle in life and always strive for more. He advised parents not to create a competitive environment at home and asked students to avoid unhealthy comparisons and instead focus on self-improvement. PM emphasized that exams are an opportunity and healthy competition enhances preparation. He noted that while locations, students and experiences varied, the purpose of every discussion remained the same: to listen, to understand and to learn together, and extended his best wishes to all students. Bureau Report, DD India.
The Government of India is steadily integrating artificial intelligence (AI) into the country's education system through focused policies, institutional support and sustained initiatives. Efforts are being made to prepare students for a technology-driven future. AI is becoming an important tool for learning and innovation. Let's take a look at India's progress in AI-powered education.
education in India is undergoing a significant transformation. From traditional teaching methods to digital learning platforms, classrooms across the country are adopting modern technologies. Under the guidance of Ministry of Education, systematic efforts are being made to integrate artificial intelligence into school and higher education systems. The focus is on improving learning outcomes, encouraging innovation, and enhancing digital literacy. Artificial intelligence has been introduced as a subject in many schools. Students are being trained in basic coding, data analysis, and problem solving skills. This early exposure helps develop logical thinking and technological awareness from young age. It also prepares students for emerging career opportunities in the digital sector. At the higher education level, the government is strengthening universities and research institutions. Support is being provided for academic research, digital libraries, and advanced laboratories. Special centers of excellence in artificial intelligence are being established across the country. To support digital education, emphasis is being laid on strengthening technological infrastructure. Data centers and cloud services are being encouraged through policy initiatives. Artificial intelligence has also been integrated into skill development programs. Through vocational training and digital platforms, the government's initiatives under AI in education are helping to bridge the gap between education and employment. Centers of excellence develop AI-based learning tools, smart classrooms, and personalized education systems. PM One Nation One subscription provides students and researchers access to global digital academic resources. PM Research Chair Scheme promotes advanced research in artificial intelligence and emerging technologies. National Mission on Education through ICT strengthens digital infrastructure and online learning platforms in higher education. AI in school curriculum introduces artificial intelligence at the secondary level to build digital literacy. National Artificial Intelligence Program encourages responsible and inclusive use of AI for education and social development.
With focused initiatives, the Government of India is strengthening AI in education. These efforts are for shaping skilled and future-ready generation. This is a decisive step towards making a knowledge-driven India. With camera person Sunny Kalra, I'm Kriti Vadhera reporting from New Delhi for DD India.
India's Vice President C.P. Radhakrishnan called on President of Seychelles, Patrick Hermine, in New Delhi on Monday. The two leaders discussed key aspects of India-Seychelles bilateral ties. They also explored avenues to further strengthen cooperation, including in the areas of maritime security, renewable energy, medical sector, higher education, hospitality, and digitalization. And staying with this top story, we talk about India-Seychelles ties. Joining me is Ambassador Sanjay Panda, former Indian High Commissioner to Seychelles. He's joining us from Bhubaneswar. Good evening and welcome, Ambassador Panda. In the context of India's Mahasagar vision, what is the significance of India-Seychelles partnership in what we understand as the Indian Ocean region?
Well, Seychelles has been an important partner for India, and especially if we remember, in the Mahasagar context, but if you remember in 2015, when Prime Minister Modi made his visit to Seychelles prior to going to Mauritius, and it is immediately after the visit to Mauritius that Prime Minister had shared his vision of Sagar, security and growth for all in the region. So it assumes importance not only from the point of view of geostrategy, but also considering the fact that, there is so much of Chinese expanse into the region. So our interaction with Seychelles and the fact that our defense and security cooperation with Seychelles is now about 50 years old. More than 50% of Seychelles defense assets are of Indian origin. So this visit actually perpetuates, this visit actually reinforces this bond that we have with Seychelles, and hence it assumes particular importance.
And Ambassador, right.
Yeah, tell me.
So, and today the two leaders present an ambitious joint vision for sustainability, economic growth and security. How does it, in that manner, take forward the key opportunities and concerns that the two countries seek to address?
Yeah, see, it is not only, it's a multifaceted relationship. You see, with Seychelles, it is not only confined to maritime security. We have energy, climate change, blue economy, as a small island developing states. I mean, there are issues which India recognizes and has always been by the side of Seychelles. And Seychelles, I mean, be it as Prime Minister repeatedly mentions, Seychelles is our maritime neighbor. But what is more important is that 11% of the population of Seychelles are of Indian origin.
Right.
So they provide a bridge between India and Seychelles. So that itself, provides that impetus, be it in the field of trade, commerce, business, investment. So there are, in fact, if you see that we have not tapped the potential of this relationship, we have not tapped optimally the potential of this relationship. I think there's a lot that can be done.
Right, sir. And from your experience of having served as Indian High Commissioner in Seychelles, a little more on this people-to-people connect that both leaders said is central to the relationship between the two countries. What is the manner in which India and Indians enjoy a certain degree of goodwill from the people of Seychelles?
You see, Indians in Seychelles are, very proactive in developing business in Seychelles. So if you see that most of the hotel industry, you see, it's a tourism is a very important earning for Seychelles. I mean, if you see that it believes in niche tourism. So there are now, earlier the tourist inflow was from Europe. But now with the connectivity and with the direct flight, there are a lot of Indians who are coming to Seychelles, and the Indian population in Seychelles provide that comfort factor for the Indian tourists who come. And the Indians, people of Indian origin in Seychelles occupy a very prominent place, be it in the political configuration or the social configuration of the Seychelles society. And by investing, the maximum of investment in Seychelles are by the Indian people of Indian origin and those who are settled there. And you see, there is a big difference between the Indians who have moved to these countries. For example, to Mauritius, they moved as plantation workers. But to Seychelles, this was not the case. They didn't move here as plantation workers. They moved here from Kenya and even some from Mauritius and other African countries, or even from Madagascar, looking for greener pastures and looking for business opportunities. So this is the business community primarily who are best there, and the many Tamilians, people of Tamil. Tamilians from India and Gujaratis, they primarily constitute the the Indian community there, and they have retained their culture. So this is a very important cultural connect, which actually binds the people together there, and also they keep their linkages with India alive. So these people have very important bond, so which has actually strengthened this relationship.
Right, sir. And finally, I want to return to the question of the Indian Ocean region. It is a zone, we understand, of competing interest. How does India's model of development partnership compare with others? For China, for example, for island nations like Seychelles and also Maldives, Mauritius, and even Sri Lanka?
Well, you see, China minces no words in terms of its action by saying that, look, they have this maritime Silk Route, they provide developmental aid. So far as India is concerned, as you can see, recently the special economic package, I mean, which was announced by Prime Minister today, 175 million US dollars, out of which 150 million US dollars is soft line of credit in rupee terms, and 50 million US dollars in form of grant. So there are subtle differences in the way China looks at Seychelles and other countries and the way India approaches them. Now, so far as India's vision is concerned, I mean, of course, we have certain, security priorities which cannot be compromised in any way. And Seychelles understands our concerns. And so far as China is concerned, it has moved on its maritime Silk Route, and the development has been, there have been many instances of development projects, where people have got into a debt trap, which, take the case of nearer home in Hambantota.
Right.
But in Seychelles, Indians are very well entrenched, and the fact that our cooperation encompasses various spheres, I mean, be it in the field of energy, be it in defense and security, right, and business and commerce. So it's a totally different way that Seychelles looks at India vis-a-vis China, and which I feel is also the same is the case in Mauritius. Mauritius, of course, the diaspora component is much higher, so that's something which is very different.
Right. On that note, Ambassador Sanjay Panda, thank you very much for joining us on the News Hour. Always a pleasure talking to you.
Same here. Thank you.
India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri said that India is not dependent on single source of energy. Rather, India's approach is to maintain multiple sources of supply. Replying to a question at a press conference in New Delhi, Foreign Secretary said that India believes in safeguarding the interest of its consumers through reliable suppliers.
Key drivers of our energy policy are adequate availability, fair pricing, and reliability of supply. So if you look at the data, and I'm sure you're looking at the data on a constant basis, you will see that we import crude oil from dozens of countries. We are neither dependent on any single source for this, nor do we intend to be. And it is natural for the mix of sources to vary from time to time, depending on objective market conditions. What I can firmly and confidently say that whether it is the government or indeed our business, at the end of the day, national interests will be the guiding factor for us in our choices.
India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh held bilateral meeting with Nikolaos Georgios Tendias, Minister of National Defence of the Hellenic Republic, in New Delhi on Monday. Both ministers reiterated India-Greece strategic partnership is founded on shared values of peace, stability, freedom and mutual respect. The two countries agreed to expand the capacity of their respective indigenous defence industries through collaboration between India's Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative and Greece's defence reforms under Agenda 2030. A joint declaration of intent on strengthening defence and industrial cooperation between India and Greece was signed, serving as the starting point of developing a 5-year roadmap. India aims to be a developed economy by 2047 and also achieve its sustainable development and pledges against climate change. 3 reports called Viksit Bharat and Net Zero were released by Niti Aayog on Monday by the Vice Chairman Suman Berry. These reports have been prepared by experts over the past year.
The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi ji, has actually laid out an ambitious goal for all of us. Viksit Bharat by 2047, to make India a developed nation by 2047, which means a country with a $30 trillion economy, with a per capita income of $18,000, having the lifestyle and a quality of life commensurate with that of a developed nation. That is an ambitious goal in itself. And Niti, of course, has had the opportunity to actually work in shaping the national vision. It's also been working with states in shaping state visions. More than 17 states have produced state vision documents. So I think it's a matter of satisfaction that NITI was at the center of all those developments. It has been a very comprehensive, intense and rigorous exercise in the course of the last year plus, and having been very much part of the macroeconomic implications analysis and seeing the modeling work, I can clearly vouch for an important attribute of this exercise, which is that it is a benchmark, and it will be the reference or starting point for future discussions with respect to India's own journey towards net zero and Viksit Bharat. And this report, therefore, is a very, very big milestone in charting out India's path up to 2047 and then beyond to 2070 in terms of net zero.
President Draupadi Murmu received President Patrick Hermeni of Seychelles at Rashtrapati Bhavan and hosted a banquet in his honor. The two leaders agreed that there is immense potential to further deepen bilateral cooperation and that India-Seychelles joint vision for sustainability, economic growth and security through enhanced linkages will provide a strong foundation for cooperation in the years ahead. Still to come on DD India Newshour. Delhi's Arun Jaitley Stadium gears up for T20 World Cup games. World Health Expo opens in Dubai, highlighting India's growing footprint in global healthcare.
Can the US launch a bombing campaign against Iran? The Philippines vessel suffered structural damage. The saga of child sexual abuse is the United States China's debt trap strategy. Truth is stranger than fiction. But sometimes hard to uncover. Trust us to tell the truth, unadulterated and pure, of every story that matters to you.
Exactly what save your.
You read between the lines, cut the clutter, and connect the dots to get you the full picture. Watch Connecting the Dots at these times with me, only on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Newshour. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal lauded the role played by US Ambassador to India, Sergio Gore, in seeing that Indo-US trade deal sees the light of the day. His comments came during a reception hosted by the US Ambassador to India at his residence on Monday evening in New Delhi.
I must place on record that trade deal would not have been possible but for his support, his personal leadership to the entire engagement. And thank you very much, Sergio, for all that you've done to further strengthen this bond between the US and India.
Exporters in the southern city of Tirupur in Tamil Nadu have welcomed the US decision to slash tariffs on Indian goods, describing it as a major relief for trade. The announcement by US President Trump is expected to boost Indian exports, strengthening bilateral trade and provide positive push to key sectors facing tariff-related challenges.
The reduction in American tariff will be much more benefitable for Tirupur exporters and all over India textile manufacturers. Now already buyers are approaching us for the upcoming orders. So we already lost two seasons, but now the upcoming season will be in a big move from the buyer to place orders in Tirupur. Now again, we can expect more orders from the buyer and Tirupur will be much more benefited because of the less tariff.
This historical deal, the USA exports will be going to increase double in 3 years and almost 5 lakh more employment will create up within 3 years. So we are very happy and we welcome the historical deal, and we thank entire government for taking a great step to move forward this wonderful trade deal.
India is stepping into a new era of artificial intelligence, not just in technology hubs, but down to the farmlands as well. As New Delhi gears to host the world's largest AI Impact Summit, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman unveiled a groundbreaking initiative in the union budget called Bharat Vistar. The AI-powered tool promises to transform agriculture, empowering farmers with data-driven decisions and smarter access to resources. DD India's Rahul Upadhyay gets us more.
New Delhi will host the India AI Impact Summit from February 16 to 20, 2026, expected to be the largest among the 4 global AI summits held so far. With over 35,000 registrations already received and participation anticipated from more than 100 countries, the summit aims to reflect growing global momentum around responsible, inclusive and impact-driven artificial intelligence. The summit will focus not just on vision, but on real-world execution and outcomes that directly benefit people. With agriculture emerging as a key priority for India, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in the Union Budget 2026-27 announced the launch of Bharat Vistar, a multilingual AI-powered agricultural platform designed to transform how farmers access information, services and markets.
I propose to launch Bharat Vistar, a multilingual AI tool that shall integrate the AgriStack portals and the ICAR package on agricultural practices with AI systems. This will enhance farm productivity, enable better decisions for farmers, and reduce risk by providing customized advisory support.
Bharat Vistar, or virtually integrated system to access agricultural resources, will be a multilingual AI tool that will integrate the AgriStock portals and the ICAR package on agricultural practices with AI systems. Vistar is an open, interoperable and federated public network dedicated to agricultural information and advisory services. A decentralized repository, it will facilitate the discovery and fulfillment of verified agricultural content, best practices, and agri-skilling across diverse private and public provider platforms, enhancing farm productivity through data-driven and timely interventions, improving farmer decision-making at every stage, input, crop production, market, by providing accurate, localized insights, best practices and data services, reducing market risks via customized crop and region-specific advisory support, supporting government in real-time monitoring, improved delivery of agriculture extension services and targeted intervention. Artificial intelligence is transforming Indian agriculture through precision-driven farming techniques, AI-powered crop monitoring using drones and satellite imagery, smart irrigation systems, and advanced pest and disease detection tools are helping farmers reduce losses while improving productivity.
From global leadership in AI to transformation in agriculture sector at the grassroots level, India is using technology for its inclusive growth and rural development. With camera person Rajkumar, this is Rahul Upadhyay reporting from New Delhi for DD India.
Bengaluru-based startup Sarvam AI is making global waves with its latest innovation, Sarvam Vision and Bulbul V3. Sarvam Vision has outperformed giants like Google, Gemini and ChatGPT in optical character recognition, achieving over 84% accuracy on OLM OCR bench and over 93% on OmniDoc bench. Meanwhile, Bulbul V3, a text-to-speech model, supports 35 voices across 22 Indian languages, handling diverse content and scan qualities. The startup's 3 billion parameter vision language model can tackle image captioning, scene text recognition, chart interpretation and complex table parsing, marking a major milestone for AI in India. World Health Expo 2026 opened on Monday at Dubai Expo City, reinforcing Dubai's role as a global hub for healthcare collaboration and innovation. Formerly Arab Health, the event builds on a 50-year legacy and is expected to attract over 235,000 healthcare professionals from more than 180 countries. India is participating in the event with strong industry presence and sectoral engagements, showcasing capabilities across healthcare, pharmaceuticals, medical tech. Indian participation is led by export and industry bodies, including CII and ASSOCHAM, together representing some 97 companies. You're watching DD India Newshour. Time now for all the action from sports. Delhi's iconic Arun Jaitley Stadium is ready to host ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026 matches, with the first game scheduled on February 10th. Preparations are in full swing. Security arrangements have been tightened at the venue. DD India correspondent Narayan Singh brings us this exclusive report.
Delhi's iconic Arun Jaitley Stadium is all set to take centre stage as it prepares to host several matches of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup 2026. With the first game scheduled for February 10, excitement is building among the cricket fans, while authorities are leaving no stone unturned to ensure a smooth and secure tournament. A comprehensive three-layer security arrangement has been put in place at the venue, reflecting the scale and importance of the mega event.
सिक्योरिटी के लिए बीसीसीआई से भी गाइडलाइन बहुत हार्ड तरीके से आई है और आईसीसी की तरफ से तो है ही, और बाकी दिल्ली के अंदर हमेशा से सिक्योरिटी जो होती है वो 3 लेयर सिक्योरिटी होती है, और जो हमारी खुद जो हमने कोई 350 के करीब अपने गार्ड लिए हैं जो हर गेट के ऊपर होंगे.
Very excited to watch the matches in Arun Jaitley Stadium. We will learn something from our cricketers. Like my favorite cricketer is Abhishek Sharma, Tilak Verma and Surya Kumar Yadav.
The historic stadium will witness an action-packed schedule beginning with the clash between Netherlands and Namibia on February 10. The focus then shifts to the host as India take on Namibia on February 12, a match expected to draw a packed house. Other league encounters include Canada versus United Arab Emirates on February 13, Afghanistan versus UAE on February 16, and South Africa locking horns with UAE on February 18. The venue will also host a high-stakes Super 8 match on March 1, featuring teams from Group 1. Beyond security, preparations at the Arun Jaitley Stadium are in full swing, with attention on pitch readiness, player facilities, spectator comfort, and smooth entry and exits for fans. As the T20 World Cup 2026 rolls into the national capital, the Arun Jaitley Stadium opens its campaign with the opening match on the February 10. With the tournament already underway, Delhi is ready to welcome the global cricketing fraternity as the seamless planning, tight security and high-voltage action put the iconic venue at the heart of the World Cup journey. With camera person Manoj, Narayan Singh, DD India, Delhi.
And that's all in this edition of DD India Newshour. Let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. You can scan this QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Newshour. Namaskar.